getting into medical areas. And that's what scares me the most. You want to shut me up and say I can't print something or I can't say something in public? Okay, I'll get around that by going and talking with my friends. But now you're saying shut up, get in the line and get vaccinated and get injected with something? No, no. If you have any self-respect as a human being, I'm not talking about a member of a ostensibly democratic society like Australia. You have to say, no, you don't do this to me. You don't have my permission to do this. And who knows what happens at that point, but I'll tell you something. I told Esther at the time, they'll have to put me in jail. I will not be vaccinated. I will not do this to myself. I will not voluntarily walk into the gas chambers. No, I will fight.
So Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu, he not only did he greet you on the tarmac when you came to Israel for the first time, he also visited you when you were in prison, I believe, back in 2002.
Right.
Are you still in touch with Netanyahu?
Yes.
Have you spoken to him since the whole COVID fiasco?
Well, when we got off the airplane, first of all, I was shocked to see him there because there had been an understanding that I would come in very quietly. And when the plane came in, I saw all the lights. And when the plane taxied and finally stopped, I looked out the window and I shook my head and I turned around to Esther. And I said, my God, the prime minister's out there. What am I supposed to say? I'm not prepared for this. And she said, I'm retired. It's on you now. So God bless it. I didn't know what to do. So I came down the steps and yes, I kissed the ground. There's a backstory to that, which you might be interested in.
Sure.
And the first thing, apart from handing me my identity card, my Tudat Zechut, which is an identification card, was he said, we can do the vaccination right here for you and your wife.
Wow.
Right there. And
he offered you the vaccination. Wow.
Yeah, fucking 35 years in hell. Now you're going to fucking kill me right there. Okay, fine. Fucking execute me right there on the tarmac. Okay. I said, luckily I had gotten a good night's sleep coming over on the airplane. And by the way, after flying on a bespoke tricked out 737, I will never fly commercial again. I mean, this plane, this was Miriam and Sheldon Adelson's private business, B737 business jet. I was horrified at the luxury in that place, but I definitely took advantage of it. I'm not ashamed to tell you this. I looked at him and I just got very serious and I said, Bibi, Prime Minister, Esther is not allowed to have the vaccine because she's has no immunity. She's zero immune. And I said, if I take this vaccine, I could give it to her. So he looked at me and thought about it and he said, okay, I understand. Okay.
With Bibi Netanyahu, seeing that you know him quite well, you're on very good terms with him. I mean, he's cast as a patriot. I mean, his brother, Yonason, died when Mesiris Nefesh self-sacrificed, and he comes from a very patriotic family. What happened during COVID that he could turn on his people the way he did? What do you think was going through his mind?
Re-election. Cementing his role as the savior of Israel. Developing a persona that would transcend all the negatives that were floating around in the international community about him. Those three things were floating around in his head. No person who valued the lives of his fellow citizens could do what he did. No person, unless he had an ulterior agenda. And I just gave you basically three reasons that constitute that ulterior agenda. Did he honestly feel that what he was doing was right? I can't go inside the man's head, but I just know enough about him to know that he's a very smart, an agile politician who understands that his character has been torn to pieces in the international community and here in Israel itself. The cases that were brought against him did a lot to tarnish his character and reputation. And I think saving Israel from this scamdemic was his way of redeeming his character, perceived character.
So he drank the Kool-Aid. He genuinely believes that he was
drank the Kool-Aid? He fucking drowned in it. Drowned in it. Very proud of what he did.
Do you think he realizes now, though, in hindsight, perhaps what he did was a mistake, to say the least?
No.
He still believes in it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times a murderer, I was in prison with a lot of them, felt that what they did was justified, that they were right in doing what they did for whatever reason. I mean, a person by nature has a great ability to rationalize the irrational after a while.
Very.
And it takes a really strong person to say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I'll probably burn in hell for this. I wish I hadn't done this. We're not dealing with, I don't know of any politicians that will do that, that will basically come clean and say, I made a horrible, horrible mistake, and I beg your forgiveness. No.
It's not just politicians across the board.
Well, look, it's not just politicians. It's religious leaders. It's professors. It's across the board. Business leaders. It's across the board. It's across the board. But I focus on politicians. I focus on politicians because they're the ones implementing these policies, forcing these policies, these inhumane decisions, rather, down on the electorate's throats. So does he have doubt? No. Does he wish that maybe that he could reconsider? No, he can't. He's fighting in court for his character right now. For him to come out and say now, even if he believed it, I did wrong. Oh, they'd burn him. They'd burn him at the stake. He can't say it. He has to ride this demon straight down to hell. That's what's going to happen. To do what they did here, to do what he ordered done here, after the Holocaust, I mean, especially after the Holocaust, to turn this whole country into one big collective guinea pig, lab rat? And why classify all of the harmful side effects unless you know that it's not going to go well when people see exactly what this damn drug can do? So, no, he's not going to apologize. Nobody is going to apologize here at all. There was one guy who was the head of this BriLife vaccine that I wanted to take part in the trials that came out with the truth. And they shut him down immediately. And here, you won't believe this, they were vaccinating children in school without their parents' knowledge. Think about that. Think about that.
With the mRNA, the COVID shot, you mean, or just the standard vaccine? The COVID shots. Wow.
Yeah. Children.
Wow.
We have a right to condemn Mengele? Excuse me. What did we do to our children? We won't know until years down the road. We sterilize them? I don't know. We give them a ticking molecular time bomb? I don't know. Did we do something to their cognitive abilities? I don't know. Children. We have a sacred obligation to protect these children. And that's it. We just rolled over. And I hate to say this, but we're going to need eventually a replica of the Nuremberg trials to get to the bottom of what happened. Yeah, the Nuremberg trials, where you're going to hear doctor after doctor after doctor pleading the same effing defense that the Nazis used at Nuremberg. I was just following orders. What did you want me to do? I thought it was the right thing to do. You did? Really?
When I hear about people like Fauci in high positions who commit acts of unspeakable crimes, malfeasance, I always wonder what else are they capable of. That's going down a real rabbit hole.
Look, I grew up with a lot of these guys. They're friends of my father's. They were all friends. And they're very pleasant. These are the same guys that managed places like Auschwitz, day job, and came home, loving husband, loving father to children, perfectly normal individuals. Beasts, animals, devils, but you'd never know it. That's the problem.
Scary.
Whenever you take liability away from any company, I don't care if they make fucking Legos, widgets, I don't care. When you take liability away, you give license for the most reckless behavior you could imagine. This is why here in Israel, when the rabbis were convinced, they don't know. Pardon my text, they don't know shit from Shinola. And they're told by the last guy that comes in, no, do it, it's good, it's for the people, good. The guy's fucking 90 years old, they don't even know what fucking planet they're on. And they say, okay, they don't understand that under Jewish law, if there's no liability, you can't authorize it. Because Jewish law, halacha, is all about personal responsibility. If there's no accountability, if there's no liability, you walk away.
There's also
under
conflicts,
Jewish law.
There's also conflicts of interest as well.
Massive conflicts of interest, massive. That's
also
yet
goes
another
against
issue.
the principle of Jewish law.
Correct. So I had a lot of respect for certain rabbis here until they started coming out with orders for the communities, their various communities, to take this drug.